Good evening. My name is Callie Bowstreet Smither, and this is the TRAP Vegan Feasibility Primary Research Study. So, we're now analyzing the student demand for plant-based frozen meals here at Prairie View A&M University. So, picture this: it's 10:30 on a Tuesday, and you've been studying at the library, and the dining hall is closed. So, your only options are a bag of chips and a vending machine that doesn't really have anything that you really want, and you're trying to keep a good diet, so you want something actually nutritious. This is the reality for a lot of different students on Prairie View campus every single night. Today, I'm going to present the findings of this research project and make sure that we are able to solve those nightly problems with a culturally relevant plant-based solution. So, we're going to talk about um, our research objectives, which we're just going to define the scope of the whole study, as well as find out who we did study, and then go through the key findings with the demographic and their habits, and then we're going to expand on the opportunity of our main opportunity of late night hunger, as well as give recommendations for next steps on how we can strategically grow this product and sell it on campus, on and off campus. So, before we collected a single response, we established three core objectives to guide the study. We didn't want to just guess, we wanted to quantify it. So, it's easy to say that students love their vegan options, but it is much harder to get them to open their actual wallets and buy these products. So we needed to measure their actual purchase intent and versus their actual passive interest. So second, we identified the preferences. We know that the word vegan is too broad. So students want salads or do they want comfort food? We needed an identity to specify the actual flavor profiles. For example, jerk or Cajun. That would resonate with the Prairie View A&M University demographic. We also needed to find the exact price ceiling where demand drops off. And third, we needed to understand each of the students' habits. We need to map out the current landscape. How often are students eating frozen meals right now? And if they aren't eating them, why not? And crucially, what are their current options when the campus shuts down for the night? Because a lot of different stores and food places around the campus literally close at 7 or 9 p.m. And that's leaving students hungry. So let's talk about the data source. Our target population was specifically in people that are enrolled as undergraduates at Prairie View A&M University, ages 18 to 24. So this demographic is unique because they are time constrained, budget conscious, and they're increasingly aware of their health trends. We collected data using a digital Google Form survey distributed through convenient sampling channels like Instagram, GroupMe, and also um, actual in-person surveys. So we received about 23 valid responses. While this is a pilot sample size, the data we received was incredibly consistent. The trends were distinct enough to provide clear strategic direction. I want to note that while we initially planned for a stratified random sample, this convenient sample gave us a very interesting look at specific subgroup of students, which I'll explain on the next slide. So as you can see, this chart represents the makeup of our respondents, and it really revealed something very crucial. The large green section, over 52% of respondents were seniors. At first glance, you might think, is that a bad thing? Did we miss the freshmen? Actually, this is really just a strategic advantage for our data. Think about the lifestyle of a senior versus a freshman. Freshmen live in dorms, often without kitchens, especially in Prairie because in university college, they literally only have microwaves. So it's really hard for them to actually make different things and keep up with their healthy lifestyle if they have one. And so they're forced into having a meal plan. Seniors, however, typically live on campus apartments like University View or University Village or off campus housing. So they have access to microwaves, freezers, different things. And so they are also the group that is most experienced with campus food fatigue. After 4 years of eating the same dining hall rotation, they are desperate for variety. So while our samples skews older, it also captures the demographic most capable of storing and preparing frozen meals. So let's go to the next slide. So, as far as the current behavior, we have to analyze this. We simply asked, how often do you typically eat frozen meals right now? The results were obvious. If you look at the blue section in our actual form categories, about 39% of students said they never eat them. That's our challenge group. These students might perceive frozen food as unhealthy or low quality. However, look at the other sections combined. About 30% of our respondents are heavy users, consuming frozen meals 3 to 5 times a week. Another 30% eat them occasionally. So this tells us that 60% of the market is already active. We don't need to teach them how to use a microwave or why frozen food is convenient. The habit already exists. Our job is simply to switch their brand loyalty from Stouffer's or Hot Pockets to Track Vegan, a healthier choice. So, as you can see, the result was very unanimous. 100% of respondents reported looking for food after 9 p.m., at least occasionally. Every single one. But here's the conflict: 85.7% agreed that finding healthy or convenient food on campus at that hour is challenging. This creates a massive supply and demand imbalance. Currently, after 9 p.m., students are forced to choose between unhealthy snacks or starvation, simply put. So this is our entry point. Track Vegan isn't just competing with other frozen meals at the grocery aisle, it is competing with hunger at 11 p.m. If we can place these meals in 24-hour vending machines, we solve a pain point that affects 100% of the student body. So we know that they're hungry, but what makes them choose us? What actually drives that decision? We ask students to rate purchase drivers on a scale of 1 to 5. Pretty much look at the bottom of healthiness. Only 33% rated health as extremely important. This is actually interesting because Track Vegan is a plant-based product, but the data says do not sell it as a health food. Now, look at the top bars. 76% prioritize taste and flavor, while 67% prioritize supporting a Black-owned business. This gives us our marketing blueprint. If we market Track Vegan as the healthy choice, will ultimately fail. But we really need to market as the flavorful, culturally relevant choice. The fact that it's vegan is just a bonus. It's not really the hook. So, moving on, we then drill down to the specifics of the actual product. Of course, price is a driving factor of why they would even purchase it because, okay, the packaging is getting your attention, and then what's the next thing you're going to look at? The price. So we found a very clear ceiling according to the survey. 2/3 of the students selected the $5 to $6.99 range. When we tested prices above $7, demand fell off a cliff. Students have disposable income, but it's limited. So $6 feels like a meal, $8 feels more like a luxury. Second, flavor. We asked an open ended question: what meal would you request? The responses were vivid. They didn't ask for quinoa bowls or kale salads. They asked for jerk mac and cheese. They asked for Cajun pasta, grilled salmon. There were multiple requests actually for grilled salmon, which is hilarious because grilled salmon is a meat, it's not vegan. But, we could make something that is like this or could taste just like it. So, this reinforces our earlier finding that students want comfort food, not diet food. They want the flavors of home, just made accessible. So, in the actual statistics, we needed to validate our strategy. We ran a whole correlational, correl, sorry, correlation analysis. So we compared two variables, the frequency of late night hunger and the likelihood of buying trapped vegan from a vending machine. And so that led us to a positive correlation. The students who reported being hungry at night most often were the exact same students who said they were extremely likely to buy from a vending machine. This is statistically significant because it confirms our distribution strategy. We don't need to put these meals in the library or the gym. We need to put them in the dorm lobbies where these hungry students live. The demand is location dependent. So, with all of these findings, we really have a lot of data to work with. We're proposing four strategic recommendations for the launch of Trap Vegan at Prairie View University. First, we need to dominate the late night vibe. So we need to position the brand as a late night solution. Our marketing shouldn't show students eating lunch, it should show them eating while studying at midnight. We need to own the time slot where competitors are closed. Second recommendation would be to actually target the Panther Mart and the 24-hour vending. 90% of students preferred on-campus locations. We should prioritize smart vending machines, the kind that can heat meals or dispense frozen ones into resident halls. And then we also recommend the $5.99 price point. We should lock our launch price at $5.99. This sits perfectly in the middle of our target range. It is psychological pricing that feels affordable while maintaining our margins. And as well, the last one is a flavor first messaging. Our campaign tagline should not be go vegan, it should be taste the culture. Highlight the jerk spices, the Cajun seasoning, and the Black ownership so that we have a story to tell and we have that relatability. Let the health benefits be a pleasant surprise after they take the first bite. And so, in conclusion, the data is clear. The students at Prairie View A&M University are hungry, they're bored with their current options, and they're ready to support a Black-owned business that brings real flavor and reliability to their campus. Trap Vegan has the potential to be more than just a meal option. It can become a stable option for campus nightlife. Thank you for your time and attention. And if you have any questions, please ask now.